we start. Okay, then we use then the example of Alabama. I'm actually preparing then the org chart. This normally is the first where you work on, and then when the company is not functioning, you start then the best. You start then with the first guy, which is on the top. So he is then there, and they have a good guy there in Alabama. But the guy in Alabama, from the profile, he is really a lean professor. Yeah, he knows then everything. He's also then elected from Toyota to be a trainer for Europe and so on. Okay, this is specific knowledge, but as a top manager, you should really delegate. You should really create a team. So they start there. And why he's not doing this, then also on the next level, there's then the production guy, and then under the production comes then, for example, injection and lamination. And finally, they do all, and then they are always stressed. And so what I'm now doing is the following. I make now the org chart, and then I start with the guys which are there, the top management, also production, that they define what kind of qualifications they should really meet to make them the injection molding department in an appropriate way, and what kind of they need for lamination. When this is defined, which is not a rocket science, you have then really a tool for comparing then the employee qualification with the requirements. This is the most important, and very often they start make an org chart. Okay, this is there are people there, but normally you make the first, what you are doing, you describe the processes. And you have the processes, and based on the process, you need somebody who is then working on this. And then you need then the tool of Qualification Matrix. And we used this kind of issue in the turtle, because there was an org chart, was Qualification Matrix and job description, which was there in the turtle. This was something which is important. And then this matrix offers then the possibility to visualize the competence of the employees, as well as to organize, administer trainings and further education easier. So this is something which is important when you go on a lower level. When you go then, for example, really on the process which is there, and you need then, for example, somebody who is then who puts then two parts together by welding. Okay, so when he has not the experience, has not done the training in welding, you could not put him on this place. You have just an issue. So and then what is also important is that you have then an alternative. So when the guy which is making all the welding is on holiday, who is then the next? Yeah, this is normally how I use it. And so I start with the idle. What is the idle qualification? And then I look what I have, and then I start then to fix it and make them the trainings. So when we go then to the next one, okay, it's clear the skill of your employee naturally play a crucial role when it comes to achieving the company's goals. So this is this kind of qualification matrix is also one of the tools which I always recommend to do, because when you don't know what kind of like in football, when you have to have the right skills there. It not make sense when you have an 11 goalkeeper, no? So you need then really the appropriate skills. What very often happens is then the following: you have gaps of competence, and then you fill it up by quantity. So there is very often you see then the guy is not knowing what he has to do, so we hire two. So and we hire a third one who takes care about this too. And the dog, that's the guy which takes care about the two, is not running away, and so on. This is completely crazy. So it goes up, goes up, goes up. Okay, this is what I just said. And then an easy tool for systematic personal development. They have their different issues there, but finally they not came to the point what kind training is used. And then the other point, what they now understood with my training, which I'm doing then every day with them, that they really have to make a test, because if you don't test, you don't know if they understood. So this is something which is there. And the last 12, 15 months, there come people from Germany, 20 guys and so on, they're all parties there. And then the German, because this is an, like we run then the production, no? We made everything. So then the American, they said, okay, when the German want to produce, let them produce. No? And so when the German went away, then fall everything again in pieces. No? So this is what always happens. So main point is then this kind of qualification. Then how can these skills be built up? Okay, high training costs are a problem, especially for smaller companies. So this is, we discussed it before, Michael. This is something which is easygoing. So, for example, for the guys in Slovenia, I'm working 4 hours per week. So they pay then per month. They pay then 2 days. For me, it's easy, and then I train the guys. So this is not this. Normally, they have to pay when they send 2 guys for training lessons. They can train then more or less than 20 people in 1 month. So this is a very, very good, good form. And so you have really to find also ways. So this kind of training is something new for them. They never had it on this, but they like it. In the morning, it was 6 o'clock in the morning in Alabama. It was the third shift, and they were in a good mood, and we had some fun. And then I explained them the 5S. I make also them this question and so on, make some jokes with them. It's just okay. And you saw, they sent me then here, this is what I have then to check. These are then all the tests which I have said. This came in because I 56 people, and then comes in a lot of paper, and I do it so that they have really to write and do it. So this is something which is important. And on this qualification, so I defined when I have a lot of scrap, I have to train them in 0 defects. When I have a lot of problems, I have to develop with them a problem-solving tool. When it is a mess there, you have to clean up, so you make a 5S. Then, because everybody is talking about OEE, but they don't know what they have to do to improve the OEE. Yeah, so this is something. And then is then the last tool is then that the guys have then the possibility to make then the process description and all the failures which are there really visual. And when there is then a daily tour, we call it caravan, so they can talk on this. So these are 5 tools which are mandatory. So I put them, everybody in the company should know this. Yeah? So this is then when you have like the system which we are now doing, and I train the trainer principle, the cost, these are we say in German, die Soda-Kosten. Anyway, the costs are there because they have to pay me. Okay, then I train them the guys there. They are happy that they can train somebody else, so it costs really not so much. Yeah, it's really then in comparison to have then something outside very, very low. Yeah. Then okay, you have then the traditional seminars and training courses. You can do this, but the best is that you train them internally because you have that specialists. What is important that this development of employees are integrated in the everyday life. Yeah, so this is something like we're doing now. Okay, once a week or twice a week. Okay, we go then through it, and then this is much better than to go now for 2 weeks on a course and make then 15 different things. It must be then also really things which they can use and which they can really then practice. I always use then the example of language. When you want, for example, to train Portuguese in Germany, forget it. best is you go to Portugal, or when you go to Brazil, then they throw the books away and say nobody is talking like you are talking, because we are in Brazil. We're talking Brazil, not Portuguese. So you have to go then to the country and work on this. Yeah, this is very, very important. Then this group and teamwork. What we will do, this I also said, is on the qualification. Who is finally then a trainer? They will then qualify. They get then $100 or $200 more. So this will be something which is then very clear, because they have additional skills, and then you can pay also. Yeah, and this is here, okay. The exchange training by your own staff, mentoring, coaching programs, and so on. Finally, this is for me the most important. They want to learn. When you go to companies, they want to learn, and the best is that you have then employees which really understand what you are telling them, so that you have competent employees. And this you have to measure. This you have to measure. You have then really to define this in a matrix, and then you know if this is fine or not. Yeah. Okay. Then the principle is easy going. You can make then like the watering can principle, so you throw everything over everything. This you can do, or you make it really then specific. Yeah. So I would say basics are basics, and then you have to go with, which are then specific, because when I go for the injection department, it has then the people which are then the machine supplier. I will then train then the people which are working in injection molding, and on the side which are all making then the parts on the lamination, they will get some special training. So this is something which you cannot throw over all. This you have then a little bit more specific. Yeah. Okay, then is there written something about ISO and so on? This is important. And to go then in this competence matrix, I think I have to then explain then the different steps. Okay, is then the identification of the requirements. So this is an example. This is then the receiving inspection. Okay, it's helpful that they can read and that they can interpret then the things. I just had the people which could not read them because they could do nothing, and they put on logistics. I say, okay, put them in logistics, but this. So they have really to make interpretation. They have then work instruction, measurements, release of product and system, identification of materials, and so on. Yeah, and then this is what you do. Okay, then are here my employees, which I put here, and then I give them points. Okay. In this case, no qualification planned is because then I have not to do a qualification matrix, because this is something. But can also be when you want really have then a small company and you don't do it by department, then can also happen that there is no qualification planned. But normally is this, because you have then the planned qualification is in qualifying, qualified. He's in efficiency. What I also say that then this 81%, or must be lower or equal 81. The multiplier is then 92%. So I have then in the scale for the assessment then this kind, so that I can really find out. I don't need that everybody is 4, but I should bring them all to 3. Yeah, I should bring them all to C. So then here on reading, okay, it is then here in this, it is then what is then here. I made it in this way. This is then here what is here then. I don't know why I put then a T, but this is then what is then really then what they should have and what they have. So there is a difference here, yeah, between. So they should have then here a 4 and he has a 3. He should have a 4 and has a 1, and so on. So then you can find out, okay, this one here, Mr. Miller, he is just very close then here to the idle, because he is only missing 1 point. He is missing a little bit, and so on. So he's just in 81. So Smith is in 43. Okay, when this is a team, you can do 2 things. You can now bring this 81 to 100, or what I would prefer, you have everybody on 80. Or when somebody is here, this 43, 46, depends. When they cannot achieve more, then you have then to really to substitute them, because when they cannot come, or when they have, when they are new, or you have then to see that you can also help do the following, that you say, okay, Miller, you help Smith, and that and Brown helps Wood, so that you have really then here a team on the quality side. No? This is what is then the identification. Okay, T is target. There was the target value. Okay, T is the target value. Okay, a long time that I'm not explained it. So it's the target value, and then is then the actual value. This is then here done in a way. Then, okay, then you have to develop what you are doing. I would do it like this when I have just two guys, Miller and Brown, and so you have two possibilities. Like I said, that the distance becomes bigger. What generates then, yeah, it's falling in pieces, or you bring them up. So like in sports, that one is reteaching the other, and then you have to do the following, that you define. This makes then sense when you have then a team. Now here it's a quality, but when you have production team, that you define with them some measures. So then on a team result, so quantity of wood parts per month or whatever, and then you can define something. So then with the better guys, they are then motivated to help then the guys which are a little bit weaker. Yeah. So what I wrote here. Okay, this is then the classic PDCA. Of course, you have to plan, implement, and control the measures. In a simple way, I will then make then here, for example, injection molding, and I will make lamination, and then I will also define. They have just something there in Alabama, and so I can then train the guys on the required competences, and then I'm sure that I have then also a team which can run then the show. Okay, next one. It is here. Okay, it was just all, because this is the point. These are then the things which you have to do. So it's an easy tool. But when you want to have a company under control, and it's also the requirement of each assessment, of each quality audit, is looking on qualification matrix, and is checking if the people which are there working are really qualified and can then fulfill then the job which they have to do. Okay. Questions from your side? Everybody on mood? No.
No.
No question?
Yes, of course. Also the target value is clear.
Yeah.
For the,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
who is responsible, or who determine the as-is value, Carlo? Is it let's say a judgment of the boss, or is it is coming from the Personalbeurteilung, or
No, this
you
is
know?
no, this is very often they make it their own HR, but this should be then from like we did then Ernst is controlling us. Is then the boss. No? It is then. It is.
Just to complete what Carlo is saying, I think HR should have a job description.
Yeah.
And this job description already that matrix in, and then is the manager that is evaluating, I would say, for each of the steps that are in. It's a collaboration between operation and HR in that case.
No, this HR has here a big role in, which is it is important, so that they really know. And when you have this done in an appropriate way, so the guys, because I want to have then, for example, receiving inspection. So it's also just defined. The job description is also defined. With this qualification I need. So this is really in the way like Pierre said.
Mm-hmm.
And this the point here is the following: when you have this is like always in these companies which you build up, and you have there a lot of fluctuation and so on, and you have no stable situation, then when the HR department is changing then every year, and in the production they are changing, then such a tool is obsolete. But this is just showing also the result, because there must be continuously, there must be something which is there which you can build up. Yeah. But for stabilization of a department, you have to know what kind of requirements you have, and then you have to measure. Yeah. So because of this, I asked the guys in here to fill it out, so they cannot. And everybody was trained, they cannot tell me I don't know what is a problem solving tool, because I made a test. No? I know the name and I know the score. I have also people which are under 50. Okay, I know them. I have also people which are under 80. I know them. I know them. I will not. This is. I have no, for babysitting. I have no time, no, because this is education of adults. No? So when the people because it was very clear, because I cannot send them to me a paper which is empty, nothing, only 5 questions, only two fixed. Not possible. Not possible. Then he gets 40 points, and that is it. And that is then there. No? It's very easy. And this is okay. But for the guys. And this is in all organizations, and this number is always depends between 10 to 15%, can go up to 20, which you have to kick out. But these are also the people which we had on multi-moment. No? These are the same. These are the same people we had yesterday in our multi-moment study. They're the same. Okay. Good. So then I don't know what kind of questions I gave you, but I think it's easy. It's not so complicated.
Oh.
If not, ask Ella. Ella knows everything. Ella, I worked for you.
Really?
I'm just in contact with Mr. Spies.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's he is not the boss of the company.
Yeah, but he knows everything. Because we have to see how we come in. We have to see how you become a plant manager there in Poland. No, no. I sent him. I asked him if he wants to read my newsletter, and he just received my newsletter 5 times, but never opened. No? So I just control him.
Okay.
And so because no action there. So I know I'm just in contact with him. In contact, and then. You will see, because the other guy which you talked to me has no profile. You cannot find him. This guy, the other guy which is actually there in play. He has no LinkedIn profile, he has nothing. So we have to see. But I'm working there on the topic. Ella, let's see.
Okay, fine. Do you will send us the template of the competence matrix?
The competence matrix?
Or should we do?
No, when there is a template needed, then I can send it out. I think, I don't know if when it's not stored there, then I will send them this matrix out. I have it there. I send it out after the meeting, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then I wish you a good rest week, and yeah. And it's sunny. Okay, I will now also.
Very sunny.
If I go, but it was really hot today. Let's see if I will ride a little bit the bicycle. Can be that I go then on a bicycle ride.
But now in Poland, I'm in the south of Poland, and it's very, very rainy. since several weeks.
Okay.
It's a problem. But tomorrow I will go to the hot time in Germany.
You will go there.
I go back to Germany.
Okay, but also in Poland will come sun. We will see. When you come there, Ella, then the clouds go away, Ella is coming, and then it's sunny.
Okay.
Sun is shining, yes.
Shining. Okay, okay, then thank you very much. And and I send the template out, yeah? Okay, bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.